Hey guys, what's up? This is gonna be an episode called, this is gonna be a series called Talks with Keegan. And this is just gonna be some information about me and some arguments that I have. There's gonna probably be some gameplay or something in the background behind this, but the gameplay is not being recorded while I talk about this. So here it goes. Anything. So if anybody actually watches these, I'll be happy, but I don't expect people to make this super popular. But the main thing I'm going to talk about today is probably disabilities. Disabilities in America, disabilities around the world, or anything like that. Now, most of my siblings have behavioral issues or some issues disability-wise. Now, I'm not going to get into that. This isn't me trying to cry about my life and saying that my life is bad or anything like that. This is me saying that I'm sad because my younger brother, Seth, for example. I'm going to talk about Seth today. Okay, we're going to talk about Seth today. Seth is a 10-year-old traked and invented boy. He has been traked and invented since probably the 10th day after he was born. So that 10 years. 10 years he's been on this vent. He's 10 years old. 10 years he's had a trach in his neck, which is it's a tube that goes into the airway, and it basically helps him breathe. His upper airway is very, very small, and it closes on it. He just can't breathe very well out of that at all, actually. And when he sleeps at night, his brain does not tell him to breathe. He does not know to breathe when he is sleeping. He just doesn't. We don't know why. Oh, I don't know why. I'm sure my mom does. She's a nurse, and we live in an area where my mom can work as a nurse for my brother. But the things that upset me about my brother's current situation are number one, when the reason he is like he is today. Okay, so before the big event happened, which I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. I'm going to get into that later. So up until about probably, I think he was 6 years old, I believe, he was able to walk and talk, and he can take all of his stuff off, and he could do everything. He was a normal kid. He just had a vent and a trach. He was normal. The only thing that was different about Seth is he had a trach, a vent, and a G-tube. He might have gotten the G-tube taken out. I don't remember much from back then. I'm only 14. That was a while ago for me. And it's not exactly around the time that it happened, it was not good memories. When the big event happened, it was not a happy time. So I was not trying to remember those. I was trying to forget those bad memories, those awful times. And what happened was, my brother had seizures when he was younger. He had some severe seizures, and the problem was when he had these seizures, they weren't like, some of them were only 5 seconds, but some of them could be very big. One morning, we woke up, and there was an ambulance outside. Now Seth had to be taken to the hospital. We lived in Georgia at the time. He had to be taken to the hospital, and he had a severe seizure. So they tried to put him on some seizure meds, put him on some meds and stuff. But the problem they had was they put Seth's weight inside the computer wrong. Inside the hospital computer, and all the data, they put it in wrong. So they gave him an overdose of some medicine, and he had a severe brain injury. That's the big event. He had a very big brain injury where he lost most of the function in his brain. Half of his brain is, not half of it, but a big chunk of his brain died, and he is better than he was after the brain injury. But the main problem I have with this is it all could have easily been avoided. my brother would still be here walking and talking now, which he can walk a little bit now, and I'll tell you why that is later on in this video, in this, this. And it could have all been easily avoided. It could have been avoided because if the nurse that had given him the meds had looked at the weight before grabbing the meds, or looked at the amount of meds that she was giving this child and said, because they put his weight as in his way over what it should have been, where you could look at this child and say, there's something wrong here. This kid doesn't need this much meds. He does not need this much amount. I'm going to go get a doctor. I'm going to have the doctor check the meds, and I'm going to see if this is the right amount of weight. But they did not do that. I think that the healthcare system in America needs to check things before they do it. Double check it. Triple check it if you have to. I don't care. Stuff like this shouldn't happen in a hospital if it can be avoided. Think about it. If this one nurse that gave him meds had looked back, because I don't think it was the same nurse that gave him meds that was the one that checked him in and took his weight and stuff. If the one nurse that had given him the meds had looked at the weight and looked at the amount of medicine she was giving him and just said, something's wrong here, going to get a doctor, he can double check it, then nothing would have happened. But it did happen. And it's sad to me that my brother, I cannot engage in a conversation with him. I just wish that there was something more I could do. Something that I could do, say, to help him more. Like, I won't give up on Seth, and I don't think anybody else in my family will. We'll be always looking for a cure or a solution to solve this, to help him get back to the way he was. I'm not saying that I don't like Seth now because I can't talk to him, I can't do anything with him, I hate him. I'm not like that. I love Seth. We all love Seth. We just wish that we could ask him what he wants to do, where he wants to go, what activity he wants to do, what he would like to do now, because it makes me upset that I can't do that anymore. And I know that it sounds like I'm just a little kid who's crying or lashing out at the world that did this to him and his family, but I'm not. I am just angry because there are problems, and I don't want this to happen to anybody else ever again, because it can be avoided. But one of the things that I researched myself, I looked up. Now, I've looked from everything from neural implants to stem cells. And stem cells is what I was going to talk about, okay? I've looked up a lot of things, and I've done a lot of research on potential things that could help my brother. And the problem that I'm having is I can't find anything that is either affordable or will work. I've done a lot of research, and there have been stem cells that have say, allowed a person to talk again or to regrow heart cells. So my question is, why can't I do that? Well, I looked it up. It's because people say it's unethical. It's unethical to save children. It's unethical to use this treatment. Who are you to decide that it is unethical to use something? To use a treatment for a child that this otherwise could have been avoided. That to actually get this treatment, you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get to the Dominican Republic or Costa Rica. You gotta pay $300 for passports. You gotta pay a whole bunch of money for plane tickets. You gotta pay a whole bunch of money to have ventilators and medical stuff transported over there on an airplane, and you have to make sure that it's safe and it'll be okay in the airplane, number one. So that's thousands of dollars right there alone. Then you have to think about how how much you have to spend for the treatment. How much do you have to spend for this treatment? Okay, because it costs a lot. It really does. It is not a cheap treatment. So you have to ask yourself, can I afford this? And the answer was no. My family cannot afford to pay $500,000 to fly to the Dominican Republic or to Costa Rica for only 3 people. That would be my mom, my dad, and my little brother, to get stem cell research done. And it's sad to me that we cannot get this treatment in America because people are saying that they don't like it. Okay, this is my thing to you. If whatever you believe in, I don't believe in a particular religion. I believe that there's somebody out there, God, that did make all this and does do stuff. My question to you is, how do you know that God did not purposely, do stem cells? How do you know that he didn't program it into our DNA or whatever when he made us and invented us or whatever you want to call it, that he knew we were going to do this? So who are you to decide that a 10-year-old little boy cannot use treatment like this to help him? I don't even know if it will help, but I've heard good things. And how do you know unless you try it? You don't. Because no one researches in this field. And the ones that do research in this field don't get as big of a budget as, say, oil companies or the army, military. I'm all for the military. I want to be in the military when I grow up. But I think if they spend a little less funding on the military and a little more in disability research and a little more in brain injury research, that there would be less people with brain injuries and severe mental issues or behavioral issues in our country. And I feel that one particular group of people should not be able to say that you cannot do this because it's unethical. Tell me what you think about this. If anybody watches this, tell me what you think about this down below in the comment section. Tell me what you think about stem cells and about ethics. Now, I'm not going to listen to people that tell me that, oh, you're an effing idiot kid who doesn't know anything about anything. You should shut up and stop talking. I don't care what you think. This is my opinion. But in my opinion, someone stating something is unethical is an opinion. That is an opinion. That is not a known fact. It is not a known fact that stem cells are unethical. It's not written in any Bible or anything like that that stem cells, in particular, listed by name, are unethical and that they can't be used. It's not, and that's not okay for someone's opinion to matter more to other people because they don't want these people being angry that it's okay at all. And I just wish that there was more that I could do, but I don't think that there really is. I have tried a lot of things. I looked up a lot of stuff. Heck, when I was younger, I might have even written a letter to the president. I don't remember. I might have. But I'm sure that he didn't get it, and I'm sure that he didn't read it. But, I'm just saying that I wish that there was more we could do. In the comment section below, list what you think you can do for your community and people who have disabilities or who have behavioral issues or people in your community. Can you do fundraisers? Can you do stuff like that? Can you just go out and help them? Can you volunteer as an aide somewhere, like in the IEP section of your the IEP classroom in your local elementary school or your local high school? Can you do anything in your free time to help people do this? I have my family adopted 2 sets of twins, and all of them show severe behavioral or disabilities, or just disabilities or mental disabilities or anything like that. And I've lived like that since I'm 14. My younger siblings are a year and a half younger than me. The first set of twins that we adopted are a year and a half younger than me. So I've lived this way for 13 and a half years of my life. So basically, all the time that I can remember, these kids, my siblings, my brothers and sisters, have been in my life, and I'm not sad to say that it's been a good experience for me. Not many people can say that they have two sets of disabled siblings, two sets of disabled twins in their family, and say that they had done that. It's been a great experience. There are bad times, lots of bad times, especially with my younger sister Samara. She's the one with the worst behavioral issues. Not saying I don't love her. I get angry a lot at them. It's hard to do this. It takes a special kind of person to do this, to live with people with behavioral issues and stuff. But my parents would never put them up for adoption or put them in a foster home. They wouldn't do it, and I don't think that that's okay to do. You shouldn't be able to just put your child up for adoption because you don't want them because they're hard to take care of. Children are hard to take care of. This lady knew what she was doing when she had kids, and she had severe behavioral and mental issues as well as her husband. They knew what they were getting into, and they did it anyways. But if you want to have a kid and you want to do that and you want to raise a kid, you shouldn't be able to. It's not okay. I'm just saying you shouldn't be able to, because you should. That's your choice. That is your choice, and I'm not one for taking away your choice to do something. But I would have a hard time even looking at somebody who gave their kid up because it had disabilities, unless they were trying to do better for the kid. If they could not afford to do something, or they wanted a better life for their kid, I can understand that perfectly. But think of the vast majority of people who do that do want better lives for their children. But if you go and just, dump your kid off on somebody because you don't want them, that to me is just messed up. You have some big problems, big issues that you need to face. But I'm getting up out here on 20 minutes, and probably at the 20-minute mark, I'm going to say goodbye. And I just want to take the last few minutes to tell you that I'm probably going to do these weekly if I can. My family's a very busy family, so I'm going to try and get as much of these done as I can. But tell me what you think about my conversations below. Now, I will bring up reasonable arguments in my next video if I find any, or if anybody actually watches these. I will bring up some points that I have found that are like, oh, okay, well, this person has a reasonable argument. But I'm not going to reply or even acknowledge publicly any hate anything, any hate comments, any hateful comments, like telling me that I'm stupid or an idiot or swearing at me or anything like that, or telling me that my arguments don't mean anything, or telling me that what I say has no value. I'm not going to listen to it. But I'm going to say goodbye now. This has been Talks with Keegan. I'm going to put these out maybe on a new channel. I don't know. This might be a new channel when you're listening to this. But this has been Talks with Keegan. See you later, guys.